Welcome back to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Cataclysm Crew, issue 28, MHTV's Cribs. On the cover, we see Max and Squire, decked out in full, over-the-top early 2000s wardrobe, standing in what looks like an Asteron spaceship. A speech bubble from Max says, "I'm Rascal King, welcome to my humble abode." We turn the page and our story begins.
This issue starts with Al, Lucy, and Amber all meeting up to go over to Max's new establishment. And I know you have strong opinions on what it looks like as they get to the front door. So would you like to do the narration of the first few panels of this comic as they walk in?
Sure. We get the panel of everyone outside on the grand porch with the, Vixen's elaborate over-the-top doors. And then a panel of them open and the grand hall. And in the middle is a metal device that has a framework out of it, and we see a sputtering portal. And then Squire comes running up in a small tuxedo, bows, gestures through the portal, and jumps through.
Amber runs in without hesitation, and she has a huge grin on her face.
Yeah, why not? Let's go.
Al's just gonna have his hands in his pockets and just saunter in.
As you step through the portal, every one of you, I believe, with the exception of, I think, Lucy, was at one point inside the Asteron spaceship. So you all would recognize what this looks like. You crackle in, and you never really saw the main control room, but the portal opens up into what is clearly the main control room of an Asteron spaceship. It is very shiny in that same black, fleshy metal feel. So as the three of you all step in, there's a tall chair in front of you, and it swivels dramatically, and Max is sitting there.
Of course.
Max, what do you do?
First, I'm going to describe my new outfit for anyone who hasn't seen it before. It's still the coloration of a raccoon, but it's more of the almost skin tight, kind of hardened plates and flex material. I have a fairly bushy raccoon tail, and the domino mask I wore before now has glass lenses over the eyes. And I'm sitting there with Squire, still in the little tuxedo, on my lap when I spin. I stand up, I'm like, "Hey guys, we got a spaceship. Welcome to C4." And I a little editor's note that says C4 Cataclysm Crew Command Central.
Not the Mythbusters explosive of choice.
Amber runs over and gives Max a high five and is like, "That costume is awesome. This is great." Yes, and then she runs over to the control panels and is just looking around at all of the controls and having a blast.
That is an excellent costume, I have to say. I'm very impressed.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's a cool costume, I guess.
And I'm going to kind of sheepishly look at Al and be like, "Hey, sorry. I haven't
Sorry for what?
I haven't been allowed to communicate that much. Training
What
and
do you-
all."
What do you mean? It's totally fine.
Lucy has subtly walked away to give them a private moment because she senses this.
We get a panel where Squire looks around and sees that everyone has left the two of them, and Squire awkwardly slides off Max's lap and slinks over to the corner of the panel and just takes off.
Oh, Amber's still in the room. She's messing around with the controls. She's just totally oblivious to what is happening and is not listening.
I think Lucy's probably watching just to give him some privacy. Watching Amber, I mean.
I'm going to walk over towards Al and are you sure? And I'd like to pierce the mask.
All right, go ahead and roll plus mundane.
Do I still have influence on Al? No.
Yeah, you do, I think.
It doesn't matter. I'm rolling mundane. It's the one thing Max could do right. 7. Okay.
All right, so on a 7 to 9, you ask 1.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know, honestly, because I want you. So I guess this is a question for you, T. Can my want for Max to be that Axe feels as hurt as I do?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can be like, I want to inflict pain upon you. I want you to be... I think it's I want you to be as vulnerable as you. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
like
one.
a pain thing. I think it's like a vulnerability thing.
Oof.
Yeah.
I assume this isn't something that like is in character past, so maybe like we get a like close up on Al's eyes. Does that work?
Yeah, I think we see a close up on Al's eyes, and we see I think we see like 3 panels of Al's eyes of the hurt and the anger and the like almost a little bit of fear as well. And we see like 3 micro emotions pretty quick back to back to back, and then we cut back to the 2 of you alone ish in this room.
I'm gonna kind of like nervously chuckle and like go to like pat Al on the back once, and then just like kind of turn to address everyone. I'm pausing in case Al wanted to do something there.
When you pat him on the back, he's gonna let you pat him, but then like when you turn to address, he's just gonna like give a thumbs up and then just start walking to go explore the ship.
Cool. Max is just gonna be so. Vixen ended up in jail, and I've liberated some of her funds to get us this. The only way in and out so far is that portal, and we can put it somewhere. It's ours.
There's an editor's note under liberated some of her funds that says stole. And what do you all do?
I think Amber started paying attention now and comes over and says, okay, that is pretty cool. And yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about that whole jail thing. So good to know Vixen's also there. How are you holding up?
We get a grin. I look around. Pretty well. I'm learning a lot, and I think I'm ready to come back to the Cataclysm crew if you all still have me.
We get a panel where Amber flashes like a matching grin at Max. Like they've got the same like goofy grin on their face. And she's just like, I'm really proud of you. And yeah, you're always welcome here. We're glad to have you back.
I think we get a big hug.
Hell yeah.
After that hug panel, can we get a smash cut to Lucy like raising her hand, being like, "Excuse me, where are we?"
Oh, we're on an Astron spaceship.
Cool, 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 cool.
As
Cool.
far as I can tell, it doesn't fly anymore, but it's in geosynchronous orbit.
It doesn't fly anymore for now. Have you seen a control like a manual anywhere?
I don't even know how to read these things. Have at it.
Project.
I think while we see Machina or Amber run to the panels on the wall to start like messing with them, I think we cut over to. I think we're gonna first get a panel of Al. Al, you are exploring the spaceship. Tell me one thing you come across as you're wandering through the spaceship.
Are any of them in eyesight, eye shot of me?
I think you can probably get out of eyesight if you'd like to.
So I don't actually. I want to walk up to like the big panel, like a big panel that with as many screens as possible, and then open a portal under Lucy so that she's standing next to me, and then nudge her in the arm, and then just start pressing buttons wildly.
Phenomenal.
If Lucy has the impulse control of everybody present, it just starts trying to grab arms to make that stop happening.
When she reaches for my arms, I'm gonna start opening portals in front of her hands so that she like just reaches in random directions, but never towards me.
This is my least favorite game.
I think that Lucy will eventually be able to stop you, but I do think a couple buttons are pressed, and in pressing those buttons, we reveal one of the like safety mechanisms, or one of the mechanisms that you all get from this ship. So, Max, I know we talked out of character about what things we get from this. In Al pressing this button, what thing is revealed? Which of the resources for the ship do we get to see and how?
Yeah, I believe it's the med lab.
Cool. Al is pushing buttons on the screen, and right as Lucy like grabs the last arm, or the arm finally gets through and like catches Al's arm, he presses one last button, and just like there's this massive like shift of the floor, and in the middle of the room, the floor opens up, and you can see down underneath is this like pristine, everything is white, like white and black chrome, med lab. There are clearly like beds and medical equipment and it is remarkably clean considering that just probably the last time the ship was used was like in the middle of a war.
I'm gonna dart over excited. Like, oh, nice, Al. I didn't even know this was here.
Amber's going with him. She's also very excited about this. She's having the best day.
Al is gonna shrug and be like, "What can I say? I'm a tech wizard."
I think Lucy's gonna smack Al on the upside of the head and then go over to explore to see what just happened.
All right, so you all are exploring the new med lab that you just discovered.
I'm probably gonna open a couple drawers, see what I can find.
Amber's gonna look over at Max and say, "Wait, does this stuff work on humans, or is this just for Asterons?"
Ethel always talked about how good the technology was on all kinds of different aliens, so I think we can make this work.
Guess we'll find out.
So, what are we doing about Alan?
And with, I think we're gonna cut away and actually cut over to Alan. We get the panel of Max saying, "What are we gonna do about Alan?" And then we cut to the prison. Alan, the last time we saw you in prison, your neighboring cell had been like illusioned into just one person sleeping when actually there was like a bunch of people doing illegal drugs things in there. And I remember you like backed out of the room and you're like, I'm gonna just nope out of this situation really fast. Your cellmate, who was the sword disguised as the dragon, has not come back since he hit the med lab. So you don't currently have a cellmate. So what are you doing?
I'm tossing the ball. I'm like laying on the bed, tossing the ball up and down. And every now and again, I'm just like, sword, dragon. So anyone who walks past just sees me just kind of muttering to myself like I'm loopy.
Incredible. After the like big like fight in the cafeteria the other day, security has been super tight. That one guard who you saw walking past before has been kind of the only like the guy with the laundry cart has been kind of the only person really regularly through, other than the people to like drop off food and stuff. But you all have been like locked pretty securely in cells for the past couple days. And this is the first day where at the like normal morning time when the doors open to like let you all go get breakfast and stuff, no one comes out, or like no one comes to drop off food. The doors open and you all are like allowed to leave. And there's a lot of like angry murmuring and people being like, it's about goddamn time. And the doors are open.
Alan is gonna look at the door and he's gonna, sit up in the bed and be like, talked long enough. And he's gonna walk to the door and kind of glance down the hallway both directions, seeing if any other prisoners are looking directly at him. Hopefully not. And then he's going to kind of saunter his way to the mess hall, keeping an eye out for anyone who wants to beat him up because, Alan.
Naturally. One thing that's a little bit confusing as you get to the mess hall, you see Dragon in the mess hall, like sitting at a table talking to a couple other people.
He's going to grab his food and he's going to find a table close to where the sword is sitting. Not exactly the same table, but he's going to find a table near them so he can hear, so he can kind of listen in and see what he can kind of gather is going on.
Cool. It sounds like the sword is talking, or Dragon rather, is talking about some like something moving through the jail, some sort of packages. Either the sword has like super integrated into like the prison drug community since you last heard, or something is up. He's very clearly like talking about dates and times and things of that nature.
Can I assess the situation and see? I kind of want to use my powers to see like into the environment a little bit and see if I can detect an electrical charge off of his what would be the illusion device, which I'm assuming is an electronic device, just to confirm that this is the same person, that it's not like Sword was actually imitating someone else and this person's actually in the prison.
Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers. That's gonna be a roll plus freak.
Beautiful. Yes, I actually do have elemental awareness. It's spend 1 burn. I don't have any burns, but I can do a charge on the low key and then spend a burn to do that.
Either way.
Okay, yeah. Do I? Let me see if I've got any conditions. I do not. So this will be just a straight roll.
Cool.
That's a good roll.
Alright, that is a 12.
That's a good roll. And yeah, I'm going to use one of those burn I'm going to mark a condition of... I'm going to mark the condition insecure, in that I am not entirely sure of kind of... I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop, so I'm a little bit insecure in the situation.
Cool.
And go back to the question of... is that... the question will be, is this actually Sword or is this someone else?
This is not Sword. Based on the electrical impulses coming off this person's face, it also doesn't look like it's Dragon. There are pulses of electricity coming off this person, but they're really erratic. And the electricity is almost curving as it comes off. It is stretching and warping in weird directions and weird ways. All the energies about this person are just wrong, and something is wrong here. This is clearly a person in disguise.
Interesting.
You also notice that though the light on the collar is on, the collar is not doing anything, much like your own.
So Alan has a thought bubble. He goes, and it's gonna say something to the effect of maybe a multi-panel where he's like, Sword? No. Shapeshifter? Huh. And then he's actually going to eat his breakfast, because food is tasty. And he is going to... he wants to wait till the end of mess hall when people start going back, and he's going to wait. And he's going to want to confront Dragon and go, who are you, really? So maybe I'll let you figure out how that connects, panels-wise.
So I imagine you corner him on your way out, or on his way out of the mess hall. He's with 3 other people. No one you recognize, but 3 other people. And you ask, who are you really? I'm going to have you roll to pierce the mask.
I dig it. Okay, that's a 3.
The not dragon looks at you and smiles, and his smile stretches beyond human limitations, where his Dragon's whole thing is Dragon is covered in a lot of dragon tattoos, and he has scales tattooed on him, but he's not actually a lizard. But his face warps, and you see it become almost full reptilian, and this smile just stretches all the way back to his ears, and he leans in really close and he says, "Back off, lightning boy. You don't want to get involved in this." And then he pulls back and his face is back to normal dragon. And he pats you on the shoulder and he's like, "I do miss being roomies with you though." And then he turns and he walks away. As he claps you on the shoulder, you feel this pulse of almost debilitating energy go through you. I want you to roll to take a powerful blow. All right, that is an 8. So on a 7 to 9, choose 1.
I can't really provoke a teammate to do any foolhardy action in this case. So I'm just going to struggle past the pain. And I'm going to take angry and afraid, simultaneously.
As you were taking those, I think your body gets really slumped in the frame, but you make it back to your room and settle back in your room. And then we're going to cut in a couple hours later, and it's a couple 12 hours later or so. It's now nighttime and lights are turning off, everyone's shutting down, and you're alone in your room. And all of a sudden, there's a crackle of lightning in the corner, and you see a silhouetted frame there, a person standing there.
I'm gonna sit up real quick and be like, "Who's there?"
The figure puts their hand out, and electricity crackles up in it, a ball of floating electricity right above their hand, and you see yourself standing there, full scars, the skin even more tautly pulled back, but it is without a doubt Tyrannic. He comes and he sits on your bed, or on the bed next to you, the bed across the empty bed where the sword was. And he just like casually tosses the lightning between his two hands. And he's like, well, isn't this fun? You and me here in a cell together. You struggling to not be the hero you could be. And me, the murderer who you know you want to be. Don't you think it would feel good to just embrace the power within you to become the god you know you could be?
I can't.
He lays back on the other bed, and in the exact same like paneling as you tossing the ball from earlier, he's tossing it and he's like, oh, Tyrannus, you know you can. You're just afraid people will stop you. Or that you'll stop people permanently again. And he turns and he smiles at you, and it's like a horrible, vicious smile.
The look on, like, I'm not even gonna speak. I'm gonna let the facial, like, the expression on Alan's face tell the story here, because you're gonna see maybe a couple panels of Alan's face going from aghast and maybe scared to pissed, and it's gonna like it's like a 3-panel like change of his face, and he's like, and yeah, he's like just straight up like angry. He's gonna stand up, and I think Alan would actually just maybe step towards the individual, maybe a couple steps towards the, I guess, hallucination he's seeing.
Cool. You're in very, very close proximity to this figure. Like, the figure is laying on the bed, and now you're probably like standing over top of who I'm going to call Dark Alan. And Dark Alan doesn't even flinch, just keeps tossing the ball of electricity back and forth. After a moment, looks up at you and is like, look, we both know that you could get out of here in a second. We both know that you could break down these walls, kill every guard, hell, kill every prisoner. Saber can't hold you. Nothing can hold you. Why do you let yourself be a rat in a cage for them to play with, when you could be making a real difference outside, where people would bow to you?
Alan is going to grab the ball of electricity that Dark Alan is tossing, or Tyrannus is tossing, out of the air, and just hold it there and say, I'm not you. My team needs me to be the hero that I can be, the hero that I am. Why are you here?
Dark Alan grins and says, oh, I'm not. And then just dissipates. And you're left holding the ball of lightning in your hand. And we're going to jump over to the crew. The last thing we heard was, what are we going to do about Alan? And now we're cutting back to you all together.
Amber wants to pull Max aside and talk about this in private.
Cool. Well, then let's actually start with Al and Lucy, and we'll get to the two of you in a second, because I think I'm going to want to cut into Al and Lucy in the spaceship. You have less experience in Astron spaceships than Machina and Rascal King do. So, Al and Lucy, what are you doing inside the spaceship? I presume you're together because Al is who Al is.
Before we get into the scene, I was just picturing this really, really serious like moment between Amber and Max. Meanwhile, you can clearly see Al like juggling syringes in the background.
Hey, Al is the best juggler. He can juggle like 30, 40 things at once.
The following panel would be a syringe sticking straight up in his palm that's been embedded.
And you know what? 29 other syringes are in the air.
I kind of like that idea better. So do you mind if we keep that framing and start with Amber and Max having a conversation?
Go for it. I'm glad you enjoy that imagery as much as I do.
All right, Amber and Max, what are you guys chatting about?
I think we're in another room, and we've closed the door because if Al sees us, he's going to portal in. Listen, I wanted to talk to you before we started talking to everybody else. They moved their base, so we can't just go in impulsively like we did last time. Like, we would actually have to plan this. And I don't know if we did it, I don't know if Lucy would want to. Like, she's not as she's like the only moral person on this team.
Yeah, she might have a problem with it.
And I don't know if I trust Al to handle himself. Like, this would be a super serious, like, breaking into Saber. I don't know if...
I think he's pissed at me, and rightly so. I kind of fucked up. But I think he and I need to work that out before we do this, or it's gonna end bad. Can there be like a window in the room, and like I step over to look out the window at Al? Maybe this is where we get juggling. Like we could be in like an office off of the med lab.
Sure, that sounds great. You look out and you see a panel of him juggling, and we see the word bubble in like very small font being like, "I am the best juggler." And the next panel we see just like 3 needles sticking out of his hand.
And Amber just kind of like making a gesture towards the window, like, see what I mean?
I'm gonna turn back to Amber. Like I've looked through all of Vixen's files. I don't have anything on a new prison. Do we know anyone in Saber who still even halfway likes us?
I might. I can try talking to her. Because I also wanted to ask Lucy. I mean, like, she studies superheroes. Like, maybe she knows a precedent for this? For, like, a superhero being arrested for murder?
Yeah. Okay, so you call whoever, talk to Lucy, I'll talk to Al.
Okay, and I guess one more thing. If the whole team doesn't agree to it, I might go in alone.
There'll be at least 3 of us, and I think the next panel pulls back to show like Squire at her feet.
And I think we get like a similar panel to before where they both have like the biggest grins on their faces.
Ooh, and then I want a panel of Max going, "Oh wait, 5." And then like the two robo raccoons like falling out of vents into the room.
Yes.
All right, let's cut to Amber. Are you calling your contact at Saber? Are you FaceTiming? Are you visiting them in person? And who might this contact be?
It's Anagram.
Oh, thank God.
Like, it's not Outlet. No way.
Cool. How are you reaching out to Anagram?
Can I say that we've exchanged numbers?
Yep, that's totally fine.
Cool. And I think we absolutely, because she's so bad at phones, we get a few panels where she tries to text her at first, and then I'm not sure exactly how it would go if you text a like Firefly phone, but there's some sort of response that's like, this phone number cannot receive text messages. And so then she calls.
Excellent. And we get Anagram picking up the phone. Anagram, I presume you're just like in your room for the evening.
Yeah, I think we get the panel of like Anagram kicked back at a desk. She kind of fumbles with the phone a bit, picks it up. Hello?
Hi, it's Machina.
Oh, is something wrong?
I like how that's her assumption. Not at the moment. I was wondering if you wanted to meet up sometime today. I have a question for you.
Sure, sounds like a fun social teenage thing to do.
I'm trying to think of a place for them to meet up. I think they're gonna go and get some bubble tea.
I like that.
And I think it's gonna be in like 2 or 3 hours or so. Like, she's not gonna leave the ship immediately. It's too cool.
Excellent. Let's cut away from that panel and cut over to Max and Al. Max, how are you approaching Al as you would have this conversation?
Al, are you okay if we're in a different room, just the 2 of us?
Yeah, sure.
I kind of want to set it in like what's obviously like been turned into like a training space. Like there's a big mat on the ground, various weapons around the edges of the room.
Okay.
You cool with that?
Weapons and yeah.
And maybe it's like opens up the panel like us walking through. Like, Al, I know you're pissed. Just like yell at me or something.
What would I be pissed about? As he's saying that, he's he's not looking at Max. He's like poking sharp edges.
I shouldn't have just disappeared. That wasn't cool. I had a lot of stuff I was working through, and that wasn't okay to you.
Nah, man, it's fine. I mean, I'm a ninja. I disappear all the time. I understand.
I think I like stop and like put my hand on Al's shoulder, and I want to like very closely watch his reaction as I touch him, try to pierce the mask. Unless your reaction's the same as before, then I don't really need to ask more questions.
I think Al is gonna like jerk away mildly, not like angrily, like, but more of like a somebody he doesn't know just touched him kind of reaction, you know, like a why am I being touched, not like a you know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to pierce the mask, Max.
I don't want to. I don't
was
want
enough.
any more of. Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to
Cool.
figure out what to say.
Al is gonna turn around and like put his hand on Max's shoulder and say, "I get it. Shit happens. Whatever." And then he's gonna go back to looking away, and I think there's a panel of like misty eyes, but not like full on crying, just like tears in eyes, you know?
Oh, okay. Behind Al, I think we get Max just looking confused at first and then just kind of pissed. And he like walks up to Al. He's like, "What'll it take? Do you want to punch me? Hit me. Come on." And I'm going to try to provoke Al.
I was about to say, that sounds like you're provoking. Go ahead and roll plus superior. That is a 9.
Take a condition if you don't.
What are the available? I'm just trying to be friendly. Oh man!
Hit
Oh,
him! Hit him!
man.
Hit him! Hit him! Hit him!
Oh, Amber's gonna be so pissed. All right. So then, yeah, Al is gonna just turn around and just square in the face, just as hard as Al has ever punched. And after the punch, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, you know what? I am pretty fucking pissed, Max."
Cool. Before we do that, Max, can you roll to take a powerful blow for me?
Yep. Oh my god, I don't have any conditions marked.
That's unheard of.
Am I actually playing Max? Nice.
Wow! Damn! Best
That's a
roll of the
12.
night.
All right, which option are you choosing?
I'm going to struggle past the pain, and I'm going to mark insecure and guilty,
Okay.
and I'm going to give ground. I'm just going to like fall backwards down on my knees and just like look up at Al with just like blood rolling down my face, be like, "Whatever you need, man."
So instead of so as he's on the ground, and then I imagine saying, "Yeah, I am pretty fucking pissed." I imagine saying that as I cock back to punch,
God, I love it.
and then I'm gonna open a portal under you, and then have you stand up and just shove you, and then I'm gonna continue talking and be like, "You first you confess feelings for me, and like I don't even think I feel that way, but like you're supposed to be my best fucking friend, and you just vanish for a week, for 2 weeks. What the fuck, man?"
So that sounds like you're confessing a vulnerability or weakness.
I'll show you a weakness.
I don't know what your particular team move for that says. Can you let me know what that says?
He already has influence over me.
So then he
Add
gets your labels.
Oh god. And then add team to the pool, and then ask them who they'd like me to be. And then if I mark potential if I show them that person. So I guess I don't quite understand what that means.
So what you just said to him was, "You're supposed to be my best friend, and I'm really pissed at you." And now he gets a chance to respond with the person that he wants you to be.
Before he responds, just to say something a little biting, can I just say like, maybe I should have just stayed with Tatiana and she could have been my friend.
And now Max has a chance to respond with who he wants you to be.
I might end up giving that out of character. I'm just going to say what I say at this point. We can figure out where that all falls.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm going to look at Al. Like, I'm standing at this point, right? Al?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I put a portal under you so I could shove you.
I'm going to look at Al and be, I'm really glad you didn't. And I shouldn't have disappeared. It was just a lot, and I felt useless to the team, and I had to fix that.
Before we go too much further, let's go ahead and have you shift those labels really quick.
My answer to who I want Al to be is someone willing to put the team before themselves.
Okay.
And I want to shift up their savior and down their danger, because that's who I want them to be.
Whack.
Are you accepting that or rejecting that?
I think I get. I feel like I kind of. Yeah, I'll take it. Whatever.
Cool. So, savior shifting up, danger shifting down. And he wants you to be someone that's going to put his own feelings aside for the team.
Is there a punishment for not doing that?
Nope, you just don't get the potential.
Potential or drama?
I mean, it could be both. Putting your own feelings aside for the team could be just like being dismissive and being aloof and rude. It could be like, fine, I'll do what the team needs, but we're not friends anymore.
That's so elementary. We're not friends anymore.
I mean, we never said Al was exactly mature.
Hey, I'm the oldest in this group next to Lucy.
And that doesn't mean anything.
Hey, them's are fighting words.
So what are you doing?
Well, I was accepting his label shifting,
Mhm.
and then I think after he apologizes, I was just gonna say, it's whatever. You're not the only person who ignored me. The only person who was even bothered to be there for me was Lucy. So whatever. Let's just go rescue stupid Alan.
Awesome, and I think we're going to cut away from that scene and cut over to Amber and Lucy. Amber, how are you approaching the situation?
I guess is Lucy still in the med lab?
I think Lucy kind of, when she saw that whole thing about to go down, she was standing near Al and just like, the same thing as between Max and Amber earlier, she just kind of like slipped away. I don't know whether to that office or to like the other side of the room, basically sort of like, I don't want to be involved, I'm getting out. So she's somewhere that's not near where that punch just happened.
Cool. Maybe we're like just walking around and exploring the ship and seeing what there is.
Yeah, maybe Amber is showing Lucy what the hell is actually going on, because I'm sure she's still just sort of like, I'm on an alien ship.
You're assuming that Amber knows anything that's going on in this ship.
She has more experience than I do, so
So I think we get a few panels of them walking around and Amber absolutely looking at any cool technology she can. And then Amber's going to turn to look at Lucy and say, hey, so I guess do you study super stuff. Do you know of any like legal precedent for a superhero killing somebody?
okay, so like it's definitely not unheard of, like the whole glacier thing. And like in the past, there have been supers who have committed crimes or killed people, but like usually in like the benefit of the greater good. So like if I don't know, rescuing like a train off of train tracks and there were some casualties, like the super's not going to get like indicted because it was overall a good thing, you know?
I'm just worried about Alan.
Yeah, I know. It's not unheard of. It's going to depend on a lot. There's a lot of moving parts that will determine how it will go.
Yeah, he's a minor.
And honestly, that probably will work in his favor. They can do the whole not having control of his powers argument and his brain's still developing. He doesn't know what he's doing. That would honestly work to his advantage. Also, I'm not a lawyer. Just so like take this with a grain of salt. Like, can we have a bottom of the panel like disclaimer? This not advice from legal professionals. Do not take this as fact.
Of course, we can have that disclaimer. That's really funny.
Like full like fast talking radio end of commercial lawyer ad stuff.
I just got him back and then they arrested him. I guess I just want to know like if we'll get to see him again.
I think we will. I mean, like, if you want, we can go to the university and like do some research on past cases. I don't know if that'd be very thrilling for a Cataclysm crew, as like to the library, da 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 da. But like, it's worth a shot if you're really concerned.
I think I like that. Like just us.
Lucy is so excited about this.
Also, I think I shared a vulnerability or weakness.
I think so too.
Yeah, and there was also probably comfort and support in there. So let's start with vulnerability or weakness. So, Amber, what does that team move?
Ask them if they would defend you against those who mistrust you.
We could do that out of character. I feel like it would be kind of awkward to put back in now.
Yeah.
So, would you defend Amber from those who mistrust Amber?
I think so.
Cool.
Cool. If they say yes, clear a condition. I have 2 conditions marked. I'm gonna unmark angry. And shift savior up and any other label down. What do I want to shift down? I think I'm gonna shift down my danger.
Excellent. And then let's go ahead and roll for that comforter support as well. I know that was kind of mid-conversation, but Lucy, if you want to roll a comforter support, that's plus mundane.
That's a 12.
Excellent. On a 10 plus, on a hit to hear you, they mark potential clear condition or shift labels if they open up to you. I think you did. I think like in conversation you opened up. And then
Yeah.
on a 10 plus, you can either add a team to the pool or clear condition yourself. So
It's going to be team because I don't have any conditions.
cool. So we are at 3 team then.
Okay, do I want to clear condition or shift labels? Also, I like that for Amber to get potential, somebody else has to roll.
Mm.
I'm going to clear another condition, so that way she can go into a jailbreak with no conditions marked.
Phenomenal.
Do you have a closer for this conversation?
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Also, slight change of topic, but how would you feel about a jailbreak?
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at Icy New Year, or at icynewyear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter, or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Today's issue is GM by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yellen on Twitter. Lighthammer was played by T.P. Huth. Max was played by me, Anthony Sheets. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out on patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus episodes each month. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.